morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Optimist Overland YouTube channel. So today we are in the mountains of North Carolina on the beginning of the Peaks to Shore trip with Venture Unknown. So this is Rally Day was yesterday, and today is we're going to be doing Buzzard, Roost, the Goat Trail, and Hurricane Creek. And then we got to camp a little bit further down past that, and then we're going to be making our way to Uwharrie. And then after Uwharrie, we're going to be on Cape Lookout on the beach. So this will be the first time the truck's been out on the beach, which is really cool. I'm looking forward to it. And as you can see, I've got actually two tents with me, the Gazelle tent and my 23-0 on top of the truck, because my girlfriend's with me this time. And this is actually her first overland trip, actually her first camping trip, period. So it'll be quite an adventure, and I'm looking forward to it. So follow along as we go from the mountains of North Carolina all the way to the beach. We took our time getting camp packed up that morning. Getting the Gazelle tent into the bag was actually really nice and really easy compared to the rooftop tent that I'm normally used to. But I still wanted to take my time, have a nice breakfast that my girlfriend made, and make sure that she had everything that she needed to be comfortable on the long day ahead. There were a lot of trails to cover, but we were both really excited to see what the day had to bring. Once most of us were packed up and ready to go, it was time for the driver's meeting, where we discussed expected trail conditions, safety, and communication on the trail. With the meeting done, it was time to head out. Once we all got lined up, it was time for the relatively short drive on dirt roads and a few paved back roads to get to the Goat Trail. It was really beautiful to see the North Carolina woods and forests this way from the back roads. And as we got closer and closer, our anticipation grew as we finally found the part of the trail where the off-roading got interesting. Trying to do is I was trying to put my tires on the high part, because sometimes you want to go on the rut, sometimes you don't, and it looked kind of deep. And what I'm trying to avoid is dragging the differential on the high part. And the bigger tires you have, the deeper the rut is that you can handle. But these are already 35-inch tires. And because this vehicle is so heavy, I like to have a smaller size tire, because the bigger tire you have, it's like having a higher gear. And so it's harder on transmission, harder on the driveline, worse on your gas mileage, and it's harder on all of your steering mechanisms. This is probably an area where it's best to stay in the groove. Number 4 is through. She's big, but she can do some pretty good stuff. Oh, there you go. Look at that. Cut out where the power lines are. We had been making good time through the trail, but on the radio we heard from our leader Raleigh up ahead that there was a rutted out hill climb just around the corner, and he would need to spot us up the hill.
On this part I'm starting here is looking a little rutted out. Let me get on up here and go out a bit and walk back and get a spot. Sounds good. She's holding here. Copy, right. Rig 3 is going to pick up code yellow real quick.
Aubrey's Land Cruiser needed just a little bit of help to get up the hill. But once he was cleared, it was my turn to try the muddy ruts in my long, massive F250.
When you get kind of close to the top is when it's going to start getting a bit flexy and probably throw you off off your traction. So if you've got a locker, probably throw it on the rear, help you get over it, and whenever you're ready.
Alright, I'll straighten out on the hill and then I'll lock.
Yeah, about halfway up you'll come to a little bit of a flat spot. You can stop there and lock if you want to.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Okay, keep on that line.
That looks rough.
Yeah, just over this up here if you want to kind of stop there and throw your locker on, that's where you're going to need it now.
It's already locked. So stay to the passenger side.
A little bit more passenger, but you're not doing too bad.
Raleigh's an experienced spotter who's been doing this for years, though I doubt he's spotted many F250s up this hill.
There you go. Keep it going. Try to keep your momentum going. Probably going to slide you over. There you go. Don't worry about it. Keep going. Get some gas. Let's go. Over the top. There you go. Keep it going. Keep it going. Hold on. Back it up about 6 inches to the foot, and then give it some pedal. A little bit more. That's good. That's good. Go a little passenger. Passenger. Okay, let's go. Hold it. Do you have a spot locker?
No, unfortunately. I can back down a little further, though.
Okay, yeah. Back down slow. Turn it. Keep it driver a little bit there. Back down. A little bit more. Hold it. Can you turn passenger from there, or are you bound up?
Bound up here.
Ease it forward and try to turn passenger. Just ease it up. Okay, turn passenger back up a bit. That's okay. Hold it right there. A little bit more. That's good.
Now try straight again.
Turn passenger a bit.
Like try to straighten the wheel.
Yeah, when you start going forward, try to straighten it a little bit, and then try to turn a little bit passenger as well once you get going.
Roger. There we go.
You got it. Keep it going. Good job. Take it on up the hill and find Aubrey and them and just hang out there.
Roger.
Good job.
Thanks for the spot. Appreciate it.
Next up, Mike.
That was intense. So this is what it looked like from the outside. Big shout out to Raleigh's son for letting me use this footage on the channel. He did pretty much all of the outside shots for this whole trip, and he shared them with me and let me use them on the channel, as well as a couple of videos here and there from other people who were on the trip. Big thanks, guys.
start going forward, try to straighten it a little bit, and then try to turn a little bit faster as well once you get going.
After I went through was the turn of the Tacomas, and they really showed us how it's done.
Yeah, that was nice and easy.
I couldn't tell. I thought that was Mike until you got closer. I couldn't tell another front. I already know he's just going to crawl up into it. Oh, Stan's going to get it some beat.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, you think so? Even I guess he doesn't really care. He's pretty careless, not careless. But what's the word?
Yeah, he's
free-spirited.
Yeah, he's a
go.
skinny pedal fella.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. That was good.
Yeah, slide back down in there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Before long, we were back on dirt road and headed to our lunch spot, which involved crossing a creek at a scenic bridge. So this is the tail team for Peaks Ashore in 2024, made up of all kinds of different rigs led by Raleigh and his diesel Jeep. You can see there were some rigs that were close to stock and some that were really built out, which really made the wheeling fun, and I enjoyed wheeling with everybody on this trip all the way through. There was one rig that's not included here in this video, a 4-runner that was towing a trailer. He just didn't want to do Hurricane Creek with a trailer behind him. Once we were finished with lunch, it was time to get on I-40 to actually get to the entrance to the Hurricane Creek Trail. For those of you who don't know, the entrance to Hurricane Creek is actually directly off of I-40. You actually have to get on I-40 from here, go south, get off, turn around, and go back up I-40 northbound to find the entrance. What you'll see here is the Harm and Den sign right there, and just before you get there, you need to pull into the emergency lane and get right off the highway and not be a hazard to everyone else on I-40. And if you're with a group, make sure you pull all the way into the trail until everyone in the group is off the highway so you don't get backed up. So we did the Goat Trail and Hurricane Creek on June 28th of 2024. And sitting here editing this, I feel really lucky and privileged to have gone through this trail before it got graded, literally like the next weekend or something right after we did this. And then later on that year, Hurricane Helene came through and really messed up this whole area, including collapsing part of I-40 that we just drove on. Once everyone got on the trail and off the highway, Aubrey was nice enough to let me stick a GoPro on the back of his Land Cruiser. So Hurricane Creek is a Forest Service road, and people do live back here, which is why it does have to be graded and maintained from time to time. Can you guys imagine living back here? What a beautiful place to live. next obstacle was a test of articulation, a rocky outcropping that had been revealed through erosion diagonally across the trail.
Back up and give it a little bit more. Nice.
Once everyone made it through, we loaded back up to keep going. So you can see here that Hurricane Creek is tight in some places, especially with the foliage, and my big truck barely fits. The idea behind the truck was I wanted to build a family overland rig, something that could seat 6 people and not have to give up seats for, gear, and still be able to wheel in the southeast and not have to tow a trailer. And you can see that the F250 works, but it is definitely like right at the upper limit of what you can really wheel on trails like this in the southeast. One of the things I enjoy about it is I enjoy taking it to places where it's tight and where I can kind of push the truck to see what its limits are. And I got to do that a lot here on Hurricane Creek and other parts of this trip. So the next obstacle coming up here is the well-known tree root obstacle on Hurricane Creek, where there's a big tree root that has basically been exposed by erosion and is a challenge to get up. Copy.
The reason this is called the root obstacle is my right foot right here is standing on the root. You will get caught up on it and get into your tires. So that's why I say when you come up, go a little driver. Come on straight. Keep coming straight. Keep coming straight. Now go a little passenger. And swing out some. Keep going. Keep it straighten up some. You're going to pop up on your driver's side a bit. Now cut back, start cutting back driver. There you go. Go straighten up. Straighten up. Straighten up. Okay, now driver some. Driver. 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 There, you're popping up. There you go. You're up on the front. You're probably going to hit the root on the back. Right about there. Nice. Bring it on.
I mean, that's one way to do it.
Yeah.
Straighten out there. Yep. Straighten out there. Grab it. Solid. Solid. Easy. Straight. Yep. You got it. Lock it up.
Just after this was another fun obstacle where the road was rutted out to the side down the hill, and there was a rock uphill trying to push you off camber towards the downhill side. Shane got over it pretty well, even in a pretty much stock Silverado. Aubrey was next, taking his Land Cruiser over it with ease. And then, after the spectators had assembled, it was my turn. Next were the Tacomas that made quick work of the obstacle. Once everyone was clear, we loaded back up to continue the trail. Even though we were nearing the end of Hurricane Creek, we still had a lot of ground to cover before getting to camp. And that was the end of Hurricane Creek. We still had a lot of miles to cover on the Blue Ridge Parkway, so we all gathered up at the end of the trail to air up our tires. I got to show my girlfriend how to inflate the tires with my 4-tire inflation system. She did really well on the trails, and even though this is her first time camping, she's actually grown up riding around in the woods on side-by-sides for most of her childhood, so this wasn't something really new to her. I think she had a good time.
Copy that. We'll be on here for a while, so you should be able to catch up. Good deal.
Pretty much the rest of the day would be spent on the Blue Ridge Parkway, taking in the beautiful views of the Appalachian Mountains from this historic road. We found ourselves driving through the clouds at the top of the mountain, and we pulled over to take some pictures at a scenic overlook. Smile, say hi. Isn't this pretty? It's pretty far down. As the sun set, we finally pulled off the parkway onto a dirt road leading back to the campsite for the night. once I got the rooftop tent all set up for my girlfriend, it was time for me to make myself comfortable in the gazelle tent on the ground and get some rest for tomorrow. Make sure to like and subscribe for part 2, Uwharrie National Forest. See y'all next time.